My Life in Ethiopia's Progress, Chapter 40. We hear of the rout of the army on Ras Dästa's front. Our son-in-law, Ras Dästa Damtau, whom we had appointed commander of the left-wing Southern Army, had come close towards Dolo, which is situated on the border of Italy and Somaliland, when General Graziani, commander-in-chief of Italy and Somaliland, heard of Ras Dästa's approach to the frontier. He turned towards Ras Dästa, the army, tanks, and aeroplanes which he had stationed in the Ogaden, and launched an attack against him with all his strength. Ras Dästa was at a place suitable for bomb attacks, but unsuitable for infantry. His army was, therefore, unable to withstand the onslaught of tanks and bombs and was defeated. Furthermore, another reason why Ras Dästa's troops were so stunned was this. When the Swedish Red Cross doctors, stationed according to regulations, a long distance from the war front, were treating the injured, these troops saw the Italians, clearly aware where the wounded were being looked after, coming in their aeroplanes and dropping bombs on them, burning their tents, medicines, and all their medical equipment, including even their food supplies. Of the doctors themselves, one was killed there. The leader of the Swedish medical team, Dr. Haile, was severely wounded. The wounded patients, who were actually under treatment, were hit by bombs while being cared for in that tent, and many of them died. When it was learned that Dr. Highlander had been injured, the Swedish physician at the bedside hospital at Addis Ababa, Dr. Hanna, went there by plane and brought him back. He treated him and nursed him back to health. The remaining doctors, as on one hand a hostile attack had been perpetrated against them, and on the other, their medicines and medical equipment had been set on fire, were compelled to go back to Addis Ababa in order to prepare fresh medicines, medical instruments, tents, and food supplies. So they had to leave all the wounded and had to return. Because time was needed to make all these preparations until they were ready to return, the Italians, on their part, were hurrying on with the war and were exterminating soldiers and peasants with bombs and poison gas. The time was thus propitious for them to push forward. When Ras Dästa realized that the Italians had seized the road which he had built for cars and lorries, he took the troops who had escaped death and, marching fast by routes cutting through deserts, reached Negele. Lest the Italians should find all the food and other provisions which he had collected there, he caused them to be set on fire and then left for Wadara. After the Italians had set on fire the village and church of Nagele with incendiary bombs, they proceeded towards Ras Dästa's position at Wadara and attacked there. But as the place was wooded and hence not suitable for bombing, there was nothing they could do there. But they discovered a Swedish Red Cross lorry standing at some place there, filled it up with their own ammunition, and then began spreading the mendacious rumor all over the world that they had found a Red Cross lorry loaded with ammunition. After Ras Dästa had resisted the enemy by moving about the Sidamo and Bale provinces, remaining there for a year or so, he entered Arusi province. As General Graziani heard of this, he surrounded him with a large army and fought a big battle in Arusi and Mareko. Ras Dästa was captured in this engagement, and on the 16th of Yakatit, 1929, which is the 23rd of February, 1937, he was killed by the Italians for the liberty of his country and the honor of his emperor. As to the army commanders who were with him and those attached to the Jazmach Gebre Mariam, the Italians themselves reported that they died doing their duty as officers.